And we are live. We are live here today with Sypool, a synthetic asset managed protocol, and we have Jackson joining us from the team. How's it going, man? Excited to have you on.
Hi, thanks for having me today.
Yeah,
I'm all right,
awesome.
thank you. Yeah.
That's nice to hear. Nice to hear. Appreciate you jumping on and joining us. For those of you who don't know, can you give a brief introduction of yourself and your role at Sypool?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. My name is Jackson. I'm the co-founder of Sypool, and I'm also the co-founder of Quantum Technology, which we manage more than 300 million of quantitative funds, and we also have a crypto hedge funds. We are managing around over 50 million now. So I have like rich experience in both financial industries and blockchain industries.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just on the note of like traditional finance background, it seems like you guys are looking to bring quantitative trading on chain. How long have you been in that traditional finance space before this? It seems like you obviously have a lot of experience with the funds you are managing. I'm just curious on a little bit more
Yeah.
backstory.
S- So we start like 2012. So we start trading commodity market and stock market in US and UK. And in 2018, so we find out that crypto market is very hot at that time. So we start to figure out how we can make some strategy which can trade on the crypto market. So yeah, so we actually had several strategy working quite well in the crypto market. So that's why we start Sypool. So we want to bring this to the DeFi investor as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that seemed to be the trend. I know, like, just off the top of my head, that's what a lot of crypto or traditional traders found. Even people like the heavyweights in the space, Sam Bankman Fried and Suzu, they both kind of started dabbling with crypto strategies and found
Yeah.
it very profitable. And it sounds like you guys had some sort of a similar path on that regards. For those who aren't aware of exactly what Sypool looks to offer, can you elaborate on that kind of the idea behind synthetic asset management?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, I mean, Sypool is actually a asset management protocol. We are building this on Solana. So it's providing a professional financial service to user to actually manage the wealth. So we think the financial service should be provided to everyone who wants the professional to manage the fund for them. So the synthetic asset is actually is always a matter of debate about how to understand synthetic asset. So could fund shares be viewed as a special token, synthesizing the value of the part of the certain fund? I mean, it's always an open question, but it's true we are not classically the synthetic protocol like synthetics and mirror. But I personally need to admit that those protocols do inspire us when we're developing this idea with our team. So just like traditional synthetic protocol, we could create almost any synthetic asset as long as it's well collateralized and legal. Our pool could involve just as much. But if there's only two tokens in the pool, it's actually just we call it swap pool. If there's a preset distribution of several token, it's like index tracking fund. But if there's NFTs in the pool, it's like a mutual NFT fund. So the idea might be using one asset to create very other asset and call that synthetic asset. But we use the various other asset to create one. So I mean, it's just other side of the story. So So like I always joke with my team. So they do one for all, but we do all for one.
Yeah. So kind of the idea here is you guys are able to create a basket of assets. Um, and it's simply just asset management, just putting it decentralized on chain, allowing people to select what funds they want to participate in, correct?
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
correct. Yeah.
And I know you guys are currently in development and have a hefty roadmap built out that you guys are on track for. And to my understanding, you're currently live on the test net. You guys have ran some trading competitions. How has the test net been so far? And then what do you think the importance of having a long test net period is?
So yeah, for now we are on the test net. So we had like two round of test net competition before September. So yeah, so basically we will have another round within 2 weeks. So for the previous two round, we actually tested the staking function and the mint and burn function, and also the calculation formula of the rate of return. And so basically we hold a lot competition and a lot testnet competition. So basically we just want to know from the user side which we can improve, what we are missing out. So for the first round, we find out that the testnet, the trading, I mean the transaction on the testnet and the requests on the testnet is very slow. So we actually talked with the Solana team and got some permission of the nodes, and together with our improvements on the codes, so it's actually the speed improves a lot now. So and also a lot users report that the UI, the user interface is not that satisfied. So so we actually took a lot of time and redesigned the UI. So for this run, which we're gonna host within 2 weeks, it's gonna be mainly is like for the users to try out our new user interface. And this testnet will be, like I said, will be start within next 2 weeks, and it will last about 5 weeks. And the total price for this testnet is going to be 100,000 SYP. Will give out to all the users who participate in this event. And
Yeah.
after that, yeah, and after that, I mean, our mainnet is actually ready to launch after that. Yeah.
That's awesome. And what you're saying there, to my understanding, it almost sounds like test nets are a great safe environment for your users to jump on and kind of try out the protocol, break things in a risk-free manner. I also like how you guys are incentivizing the test net. Something I've noticed is a lot of people's test nets, it's great you have a test net, but how many people are actually using them? So I think through incentivizing it with SYP token, it allows a bit more users to jump on and actually try the protocol. Is there, I know this may put you on the spot, so I don't expect you to have any numbers. Is there any like data on how many people you have currently using the test net trying out the protocol?
Yeah, sure. Actually, we have like I mean, very exact number,
Awesome.
but yeah, I can't remember, but I can give you a roughly number. So, for the first round, we actually had like almost like 7,000 or 8,000 people, 8,000 users tried out with us. And for the second round, essentially, we hold it on the August, end of August. We had like 4,000 users tried out. So we believe with this kind of this size of price this time, I believe users will love to try out, and we do love them to report any improvements they think is possible. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a great balance. Something that is a common theme when talking to projects is there's always this balance of you guys have to build really, really fast, but then you also have to do it in a secure and safe manner. So I like that you guys are doing almost 3 rounds of testnet incentivizing here to really get users on the platform, try it out, and also make it worthwhile for the community. So I think that's really
Yeah.
notable that you guys aren't kind of, okay, we really need to rush this out, and you are thinking about the users and the community. So I think that's pretty important. What that does sort
Yeah.
of transition into is, what is sort of the long-term vision for Sypool? I know mainnet's around the corner, but I'm sure you guys have a lot more features you want to roll out on top of that.
Yeah, sure. So we are actually building a comprehensive DeFi platform. So for now, you can think we are just a asset management protocol, but we are planning bigger, and we want to develop our ecosystem bigger and larger in the future. So um, so so in the future, you can think SYP basically is our token. So it will represent the whole value of our ecosystem. So we would add like NFTs elements to our protocol. We will add options and perpetuals futures for our fund shares, which we call it SAP. And also our SAP will be a collateral which we can start along in the future. And also more dApps might be developed to make our ecosystem more stronger. Yeah.
Awesome. And yeah, that segues right into my next question. You touched on SYP and SAP tokens. Do you want to maybe give some of the viewers a distinction between that? To my understanding, SYP is the governance token, and SAP is the it's almost the tokenized version of the fund. But maybe you can elaborate on that and explain it a bit better than myself.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you actually explain quite well, actually. Yeah. So SYP is like you said, is a governance token. So it's like a membership of our Sypool community. So you can use this for voting. You can use this to farming and staking, and also you can use this to mint a SAP, which I will explain later on. So also you can trade, and also we use SYP to be a salary and reward to the whoever who has contributed in the community. So yeah, it's actually value is actually depends on the management fee which we charge from the management the crypto asset on the platform. So all the management fee we charge, we will like most of the management fee we charge will be we will buy back the SYP and we will burn it the SYP. Yeah. So so SYP is our you can think of is our governance token and utility token. SAP is actually represent a certain part of the ownership that you own a fund shares. So yeah, you can think of it's like a fund shares in the traditional finance. You
Yeah.
can mint, yeah, and you can burn it. So basically, mint means you buy the fund shares, and burn it means you sell and you redeem your original investment.
Uh,
So and also, oh sorry, yeah,
Oh no, I was just gonna say an easy way I like
okay,
to think about it is it's similar to some sort to an LP token, just in the sense of it's a receipt saying you're in the fund. What I think is really
yeah, yeah,
interesting about SAP tokens is the fact that you guys will or will allow them to be used for collateral. So this is sort of, we're seeing this happen across all of DeFi where people are building more capital efficient products. And I think this one's truly interesting where you can get exposure to a fund and then use that as collateral to then go and mint a
yeah,
stable coin. Do you want to
yeah.
touch on that process a little bit? Because I think that's something that's truly unique.
Yeah, sure. So, like you just mentioned, our stable coin. So basically, we have a plan in the future which we will likely to issue a stable coin, which we call it SAI. So how actually this work is actually you can use SAP as a collateral and issue a stable coin. So it's like we will have like over collateral. So basically you have to put like over 300 300 percent of the SAP. So you will get for your stable coin. But if the value of the SAP drop to 250%, I mean it will trigger the warning to all the holders. And if drop to the 200%, it will be liquidated, and the rest will return to the SAP holders. So yeah, so basically, but if you put more SAP, it won't trigger the liquidity process. So yeah, so that's the plan in the future. I think this will be with us later next year. Yeah.
Yeah, and what this allows people to do, for anyone who may still be a little bit confused, is you can get exposure to a fund. So let's say you mint SAP tokens. That SAP token is almost like a receipt saying you own a portion of the fund, but then you
Yeah.
can go take that portion of the fund you own and use it as collateral. Now, it doesn't mean that you get risk-free stable coins, but you get to mint stable coins based on your collateral. And if that's something you want to manage and get a little bit more exposure to the market, it allows you to do that. And that sort of revolves around what a lot of these new DeFi protocols are doing. And it seems like there's a lot of demand for it. Just to
Yeah.
jump back a little bit on SAP tokens, this is something where I personally had a question here. You guys have a ton of different categories of SAP tokens. Can you touch on maybe some of the primary ones you offer? For me specifically, I'm curious how the quantitative funds will be set up, if you want to elaborate a little bit more on that after you touch on some of the different SAP tokens or
Yeah.
asset management that will be provided.
Yeah, so we have so for now on the testnet we have test out several product we are offering. So basically we're offering index tracking, we're offering trade based SAP. So basically, it's like discretionary trading strategies you can use with this pool. And also, we have quantitative trading strategies apply with this. So the difference between those products is basically, for example, index tracking is like the manager they in advance they choose and select the asset, and then they create an index and follow the index, and you can and all the assets trade on the DEX and even automatically or manually. So the trade base is actually like is a strategy which managers they will trade with the strategy. So basically, like if they have some strategy like event driven, so if like let's say if BTC have like something event coming up, they will trade with that and they will profit after the event goes. So it's like it's like alpha fund, but like index tracking is like more like beta fund. And quantitative trading is basically we use a lot of data, and we we use those data and we trade with the future possibilities. So we the so we used to manage this for our private clients, but now we want to open this to all the DeFi investors. So we move this off chain to on chain now. So yeah, so in the future, the 10 to 30% of the profit will goes to managers and foundations, and the rest will goes to the all the SAP holders. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's almost like It's great. It allows people to get exposure to strategies. And I know there's some other platforms that are trying to do similar things, but having this built on something like Solana with robust infrastructure, and bringing it decentralized, I think means a lot. Just to back up there, for my sake, to be on the same page, a beta fund, that would be something that more so tracks the overall movement of the market, right? The kind of general.
Yeah.
What would an alpha fund be? That's more like hopping in and out discretionary, if I'm correct there. Or
Yeah, so basically, for example, a manager, they will have like a long-term strategy, which they do the research on a token and they have a long-term view of the token. So they will buy at certain price, and they will profit of like at certain price when they think, okay, this token probably is already uh, overvalued. Yeah, something like that. And also they will buy and they will cash out and they will buy other tokens which they think is undervalued. Yeah. So that's what we call it, alpha fund. Yeah.
okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Cool, cool. And to jump forward here, I assume in the beginning you guys are the ones deploying most of these strategies. Um, do you guys have any future goals of speaking with any quant funds? Are there any quant funds that have maybe expressed some interest in deploying on your D app? Have you guys gotten that far yet?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So we yeah, our team actually work for a well-known hedge fund management companies in London before, and so actually we have a lot. We have rich market experience in quantitative model design, research, and develop. So we will be launching few product first on the platform, and also we have spoken to Wu Trade and Cronus Research. So basically, they are the early investor of our protocol. So they are probably going to be another manager when we launch the mainnet. And also we have already reached out to many crypto hedge funds managers in Asia, in Europe, and US. So they show great interest in our platform, and we will cooperate with them after the mainnet launch, and also explore the new innovation in DeFi asset management with them.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. And I think that's going to be a big thing, right? Being able to attract profitable large firms that users want to follow and kind of pool their funds with. I'm curious, do you guys have a set? I know I saw some funds on the test net. I'd be curious to know how the performance on those have been, what the best performing fund is, if you have that off the top of your head. Um, and I can repeat this question if needed. So, best
Yeah.
performing funds, and then do you guys have an idea of what funds you guys are going to launch on the mainnet with?
Okay. So yeah, firstly, I think we will try out on the index tracking. So, for example, we had like several fund we already tried out on the testnet. So we had like Solana fund, and we have the so basically Solana fund is like uh, a basket of project which building on Solana. So we made a fund with that, and and others, yeah, we will try out on the other kind of fund we like index tracking. So yeah, so firstly we will try out on the index tracking, and also we will try out on the discretionary trading fund. So we will use our strategy to manage the fund for the users. Yeah. And the
Awesome.
quantitative, yeah, and the quantitative will be, I think, will be launched uh, within uh, within 2 months after we launch the mainnet. Yeah.
Nice. And what has been the best performing fund, if you know by any chance, just on the test net so far? Do you have any
Uh,
sort of returns yet? I don't know if you, if not, we can gloss over that one.
so for I think for the first two round, the best performance uh, it was Solana fund, because because when we had the testnet, the Solana is like trending a lot.
Mhm.
So yeah, so it performs very well. Yeah. So
Makes sense. I mean, I guess that's a good sign since you guys are building on there. I'm curious, one other thing on the funds, I see like a APY rate here. So do users, is that on top of the fund performance that users are earning yield, or am I mistaken on that?
yeah, so yeah, I think you are correct. So basically, APY is kind of calculates around basically if you earn 1%. So if we times you if you earn 1% today, so we times 1 year, so your API is gonna be 365%,
Okay.
roughly like that for now, but it's changing all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so that gives users sort of an idea of what their expected returns will be over the year. Granted, crypto is extremely volatile, so the
Yeah.
number probably jumps around a bit, but at least it's a
Yeah.
nice gauge of knowing when you get in, sort of what you're looking for. Um,
Yeah.
Another thing here is cross chain. I know your white paper mentioned that. Is cross chain something you guys are still looking to do? I know it's a bit difficult than kind of a lot of these other EVM projects, how they can just deploy chain to chain to chain.
Hmm.
Is that something you
Yeah.
guys are looking to do? And sort of what's the process behind that? I'm sure that's going to take some time to make sure you guys are happy with the code and such.
Yeah. So we always plan to. I mean, from the beginning, we plan to build a cross-chain platform, but we think Solana is more faster, more cheaper for now. So we choose Solana to start off. But in the future, we want to expand to more chains. For example, BSC, for example, Ether. So basically, more chain means more cross chain means we have more assets which we can trade on. So we have more opportunity for all the managers with these strategies. So yeah, so that's the idea why we want to do that. And also the Ether and BSC have more TVLs, so we can expand our TVLs, expand our TVLs. Yeah, so that's the idea. But I think for now, like Wormhole and Neon Labs, they are the solution which we can use to do the cross-chain solution. So yeah.
Definitely. And I think it's important that you guys identify sort of a multi-chain future. That's something we personally did here at DeFi Direct. We have networks on both Binance Smart Chain and Solana. Those are the most notable, but we've went forward and are expanding over to Avalanche, Kronos, and some other networks as well. So I think that's
Hmm.
always a fun question, especially with the recent crypto Twitter drama of multi-chain future. But it's nice to see a lot
Yeah.
of people it's nice to see a lot of
Yeah.
people are just postured to the fact that it doesn't necessarily what network it is. It matters what is easiest for that specific user, and all chains sort of cater to different users. I think Solana is a great home base though, considering the infrastructure, and more so I think there's a lot of traditional finance interests. So I think definitely Solana is a great home base to start. To circle back a little bit, kind of revolving
Hmm.
more around the testnet questions I was asking. Obviously, a big role of testnet is allowing users to try out the protocol, stress test it, make sure it actually works. And the role of security is really important in DeFi. We've seen that. Sort of, what other measures are you guys looking to do to ensure security? And incentivized testnet is great. What else are you guys looking for? I guess the industry standard is audits. So I imagine you guys have some sort of auditing process going on as well.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah. So firstly, uh, we are waiting on in a line for to audit our codes. So before we launch mainnet, we probably will get some function being audited, so we can launch the mainnet. And sorry, and
No worries.
and and the other aspect is that we're going to introduce a risk control system. So risk control system basically is based on a formula of Sortino ratio. Will give a for example, a pool to use for user to choose which kind of risk you wanna you wanna take. So it's kind of like an idea, yeah. So and also the manager will be leveled. So basically level from 0 to 5. So based on the different levels of the manager, I mean the different level is according to the manager's past performance and the community voting, and also the manager's risk control abilities. So the higher level manager, they will have like opportunity to launch more pools and bigger pools with other privilege and responsibilities. And also, we are planning to set up a treasury. So it will use to compensating the user from managers misconduct and hacker attacks.
Awesome. So you guys are not only looking to kind of promote security on the end of smart contracts, but also on the side of funds, because this is an asset
Yeah.
management platform. You want users to understand the risk levels they're getting into, ideally the performance or the experience of the fund they're following. So I think that's incredibly important. And you can see you guys are already taking a posture. I think a really good sign here is that you guys have stressed that you're not looking to rush the mainnet. You guys really wanted to test the test net, get the audits in process. So I think that's the first step. And again, right, none of these things are perfect. So a common theme I've been seeing that projects do is the continuous kind of stress testing, continuous audits. You can't just do it once and be lax. So that's something that I would always look forward to see, and hope you guys look to do that as well. Moving
Yeah,
forward
correct. Yeah.
to a little bit more fun things, less doom and gloom, because while security is important, it's not always fun to sort of talk about the negative connotations behind it. But it sounds like you guys are off to a great start. On some more fun, kind of revolving around hype, you guys bought in with a NFT collection. Can you touch on the idea of behind the NFT collection, what it was used for? I personally didn't jump too far into it because I saw I already
Okay.
missed it. And yeah, we'll
Yeah.
start there, and then I have a follow up on that.
Yeah, sure. So in September, so we were planning to launch our token, and before that, we had like IDO. So so we had the idea that because during the period, I mean during this summer, NFT is super hot. So we think probably we can do something with the NFT. So we launched a NFT Plus with DeFi art. So basically our NFT, so the user who buys NFT actually represent that they have the whitelisting ticket for the IDO. So that's the purpose of holding that NFT. So when we launch the token, so all the users who have NFTs, so they actually claim the the tokens. So 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 basically the NFT is like more uh, they have like more financial utilities utilities for that. So yeah, so basically the NFTs actually you see the NFT on the DeFi art, they are all designed by our communities, and so communities like our partners, so we need to grow together. So they have given many useful suggestions which are helpful when we redesign the UI. Also they help us with a lot NFT designs. Yeah. So
Definitely.
so in the future we will do a more this kind of NFTs. So like we probably issue more NFTs with more financial utilities. Yeah.
Yeah, and that seems to be the recent trend in NFTs. In this case, not only did people get a cool collectible to show that they were supporting Sypool early on, they also got some tokens, and I think at a fairly decent price, which was pretty cool. You touched on my second question a little bit, but I'll kind of push you a little bit more on it. Community is extremely important in DeFi and crypto, we found. How do you think this NFT collection sort of helped build a community? And what is the importance of a community, do you think?
So like I just said, so basically our community help us a lot on the on the DeFi I mean on the NFT design, and also on the they gave us a lot suggestions on the UIs. That's why we took a lot of time on the UIs. So yeah, so basically with the suggestions and support, we can focus more on the development and improvements. So we wish that what we are building in the future will reward to the communities. We will get like more returns in the DeFi space in a different way. Not just the mining, not just the farming, but in a asset management way. Yeah.
Awesome. And I have a couple questions to sort of wrap things up here. I'm getting down to the end. I see a good question in chat. I'll go ahead and pick that up for on. And then if anyone else wants to drop any questions in, I can go ahead and see if Jackson can help you guys out with that. But finishing up here, is there ever going to be a plan of users being allowed to manage their own funds? I know in the beginning it definitely didn't sound like that. So I'm curious if this is something in the future, or do you guys want to keep it to more reputable funds to ensure or to kind of protect the users a little bit more?
So we we wanna build this platform like more professionally. So basically, for now, we think all the manager has to be real professional, and they has to be like they has to be like uh, past 4 or 5 years real track record. So basically, that can prove the ability that they can perform for the long term. So, but in the future, like you said, we want to open this to uh, all the users who think I mean, if you think you can perform, you can manage the fund, you can trade well. I think we are open to that. But for the, I mean, but we will limit the um, the amount that you can raise at the beginning. If you perform for the long term, we will level up so you can raise more on the platform. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I definitely understand that. And to close things off on my end, and it doesn't look like we have too many questions trickling in. Last but not least, this is kind of more just another fun question. I see you guys are on a lot of, there's a few LP pools open for SYP. So for any users who aren't familiar with places to earn yield, I know you guys have some rewards going on some different platforms. I know maybe Orca and Radium. I didn't dig too deep in. If you want to just elaborate on that, point people where they can use their SYP to be productive while you guys are working on the staking page.
Yeah, sure. So we are having a pre-staking program with Ascendex. So basically, you can stake your SYP with them. The APY is now currently is like 30%. And we, like you said, we have several pools with Radium and Orca. So we have 3 trading pairs and 3 pools with Radium, which is USDC pair and Radium pair and Solana pair. So they are like around they are quite high. The API is around 150% for each pool, and we have one pool USDC pair with Orca, and I think the API is around also around 100%. So
Awesome.
yeah, so in the future we'll have our own staking function will be available for all the users to the staking with us. Yeah, well that will be live very soon. Yeah.
Awesome. And then on had a question here, and I think you touched on it a little bit with the fund fees, but just to elaborate it on again, they said, could you let me know the benefit of SYP for the Solana ecosystem and similar projects in the ecosystem? So I guess the first thing is just how is value accrual to SYP? And is there any way you guys look to tie that into the entire ecosystem?
Yeah, sure. So firstly, the value of the SYP is actually basically the platform, uh, the how we can earn from the management fee. So the larger the TVL, the performance of uh, the fund, so we will have the more management fee. So once we get the management fee, we will buy back the SYP and burn it. That's the value of the SYP. And also we have a lot partners in the ecosystems, and in the future we will partner up with more projects in the Solana ecosystem. So probably we will expand the utility use of SYP in the future.
Awesome. And to close things up here, I'm curious, Jackson, what are you most excited for coming up in Sypool?
Um, I think probably is definitely is going to be the mainnet. Yeah. So yeah, we've been working on this for the last half years, last 6 months, and yeah, because we are building this like from the ground. So basically, no, not any other project have done this before. So we want to take this very sensible. So we have a lot of testnet going on, and yes, but like you said, we are looking forward to launch the mainnet. And I mean, anyone want to know more about our protocol, our project? Yeah, feel free to join us in the Twitter and join us in the Telegram, and feel free to ask any questions. And yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to put the Twitter down here in the comments for anyone that wants to jump directly over there. Thank you so much for joining us, Jackson. I'm going to go ahead and just wrap this up real quick, boot you off. I don't know if there's any last words you want to say, but I really enjoy what you guys are building over at Sypool, and I appreciate you coming on and joining us and helping inform the community on what's going on with your project.
Okay, thank you then. Thank
Yep.
you for having me today. And yeah, it's my pleasure today to
Yep.
speaking with you. Yeah.
Yep. We will definitely speak soon. Awesome, guys. So that was a great live stream there. Jackson came on. He gave us a little bit of background about Sypool's experience in traditional finance and running and managing assets. He also touched on the importance of decentralized asset management and why it's innovative. I think something to definitely look out for is the funds that are going to be deploying on there. It sounds like there can definitely be some interesting strategies, especially for people who aren't too apt and would rather kind of follow people with more experience. It sounds like Sypool is going to be a great place to go. I personally like how they're doing an incentivized testnet, really allowing users to try out the protocol, break things, let them have feedback. I think something big was that the users came back and said, "Look, we don't necessarily like the UI," and Sypool turned around and said, "Okay, let's fix that for you guys." So I think there's a ton of a ton of exciting things going on with Sypool, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye out on their developments. They have some heavyweight partners, so it should be fairly exciting there. Other than that, guys, please go ahead and subscribe to the DeFi Direct YouTube channel. We're going to be doing tons of interviews. We already have a large bank of Binance Smart Chain and Solana interviews, so I would definitely check those out. We also will be having some more kind of journalistic videos, complete videos coming out. Something in the near future will be coming out on Ohm Forks, so that should be pretty exciting, shedding some more light on what Olympus DAO really is. If you guys like this content, please go ahead and like the video so we can continue to, or like the video so if it does well, we can just have Jackson back on in the near future. Other than that, guys, I really appreciate you for joining, and I will catch you next